Live from Houston, Texas, the humidity capital of the world, it's time for Money for Lunch, where we feed your brain and your business with supersized portions of business and financial news. Now your host, Bert Martinez.
All right, guys, coming up, we're going to be talking about you and your rights. We're going to be talking with legal expert Danny Daniel. And Danny Daniel, is the founder and senior partner at Daniel Stark Injury Lawyers. Danny has been a practicing attorney since 2000 and is licensed in the state of Texas with offices in Bryan, Waco, and Austin. Each year, his firm responds to thousands of inquiries pertaining to personal injury cases. Daniel Stark Injury Lawyers was featured in the book What's the Secret by John DeJulius for his work with personal injury victims. Additionally, Daniel Stark is invited to speak nationally at conferences on topics of law firm management, efficiency, and culture. I'm excited to have him on the show today. Welcome, Danny Daniel.
Hi, Bert. Thanks for having me.
Well, great to have you. Let me ask you this. As a personal injury attorney, what type of cases do you typically handle?
Well, my firm, of course, there's a lot of areas of personal injury, but my firm focuses mostly on motor vehicle accidents, including just your everyday auto accident case, as well as those cases against big trucks, 18-wheelers, those types of catastrophic accidents. And we also do motor vehicle product liability against car manufacturers and also product liability against drug manufacturers.
Gotcha. Okay. All right. Now, let me ask you this. How is your type of law, how is personal injury law different from other forms of law, and why did you pick personal injury law?
Well, first question is, I think a lot of people misunderstand. They think the law is just one big thing, but I think if you try and explain it, it breaks down first in between criminal and civil. So I'm on the civil side, and not only am I on the civil side, but I'm on the plaintiff side of the civil side of the law. So I represent the plaintiff versus the defendant. In our particular practice, the way we're different on the civil side is most injury lawyers handle cases on a contingency fee. So we don't charge a fee unless we win the case, and then our fee comes out of the winnings of the case. Whereas a family lawyer or a corporate lawyer, a tax lawyer, they generally are going to charge a fee to represent somebody hourly. And so most people, we tend to represent everyday Americans that are hurt on the job, in a car wreck, or hurt by a product. So they generally don't have funds set aside to pay a lawyer by the hour. So I think that the personal injury practice is one in which you can represent somebody that's not really in the business of hiring a lawyer. It's just something's happened in their life that's, it's caused a significant impact on their life, and they don't have the funds to hire a lawyer to protect them against big insurance or big business, whether it be a car manufacturer, a big drug manufacturer, or just an 18-wheeler company that was negligent and caused a severe accident on the highways. So that's one huge difference. And why I do it, what originally got me into this, when I was a kid, my dad was killed by a drunk driver. And it just...
Wow.
It was just one of those things that I said, you know what, I'm going to do something about this. And ultimately just ended up into law school and made my way into this practice. So I have a lot of passion for it as a result of that.
No, that's great. It's sorry to hear about your dad, but I'm glad that you're able to take that energy and really use it to serve other people and kind of leave a legacy for your dad.
Yeah, it's an exciting job. I love it. I come to work every day and just enjoy what I do. I enjoy helping people that are down in life as a result of something that's happened to them. So it's a real good, it's a fun job, fun profession.
Absolutely. You know what, and what's so amazing, and people don't understand this until they're dealing with an insurance company. I'm going to say this, and I want to get your feedback on it. I would think and I mean, I speculate that half of the personal injury attorneys that we have would probably go someplace else if, and this is a big if, insurance companies just treated people halfway decent. I'm always shocked how crappy insurance companies will treat, victims of a car accident. And we're not even talking about huge amounts of money, where maybe somebody, was killed or somebody lost a limb, where, we're talking massive amounts of not only medical bills, but, you have to look at future wage loss. We're talking about your typical soft tissue accident. And man, I'm telling you, Danny, if it wasn't for personal injury attorneys, people would get ripped off left and right. And they still do.
Yeah, there is absolutely no doubt. I mean, it is amazing, and I think I would be in trouble in my business if insurance companies just treated people fairly. But the fact of the matter is they're a big business. These insurance companies are billion-dollar companies, and they have thousands of employees. And these people that are hurt in a car wreck or a big truck accident or what have you are just a number to them, and they're not in the business of paying claims. They're in the business of making money. These are publicly owned companies that are traded, and they're in the business to make money. Now, they're going to do that by saving money on risk that they have. And let me give you an example. This is shocking. So when you were saying that, I was thinking about, well, let me tell the public about a case that we handled of a tandem. There's an 18-wheeler traveling the interstate, tandem trailer, one of the big ones, and he rear ends our client, and it causes the gas tank on the vehicle to explode, and the car catches on fire, and it's just tragic what happens. But our client was burned alive in the car.
Wow.
Do you want to know what happened? The family came to me because they got sued by the trucking company for their property damage, for the trucking company's property damage. Can you believe that?
Unbelievable.
Now,
oh my gosh.
To make it even worse. Now maybe they could have been a reasonable company and gone to the family with an apology and a payment for their loss. But that's not what they did. They denied the claim. They sued them for their truck's property damage, and we were able to get involved and do the discovery and fight this big company. And come to find out, their own internal investigation revealed that it was a preventable accident. So why aren't they doing the right thing? Why don't they do the right thing? It's obvious because they know that they can try and take advantage of a regular, normal person that feels like inside, well, these people are going to do the right thing, but they're just not.
Right, and you know what? And it's more than that too. You mentioned that these guys are big companies. What people don't understand is insurance companies know numbers. They are statistical geniuses. They can tell that if they have 1 million claims this year, they know how much more or less they're going to pay out, how many people are going to hire attorneys, how many of these attorneys are going to go to court, how many cases are going to settle, and they also know how many of these claims will go, will expire. The statute of limitations will expire on them because people, they're paralyzed by fear. I think that one of the things that people are afraid of is that if you hire an attorney, it automatically means that a lawsuit's going to be filed. And that's not always true, is it?
No, absolutely not. In fact, it's been a while since I've looked at the statistics, but nationally, I think it was, last time I looked, it was somewhere around 92 or 97% of all cases settle out of court. And so it's not true that when you hire a lawyer, you're going to court. Now, I think that most people would agree that say, I'm not going to go to court without a lawyer, but yet a lot of people say, well, I think I'm going to try and handle my claim without a lawyer. Now, here's the problem. Those are the people that actually end up in court. And the simple reason is that they make mistakes early on, and they're unable to transfer the risk on the insurance company, on the big business, because they made errors, they made mistakes. They have holes in their case so that the insurance company or the big business, the lawyers on their side, are going to take advantage of that. That's their job. I don't hold anything against them for doing it because that's what they're hired to do. But a person needs to be represented early on. There's no doubt about it.
Absolutely. Hey, and we got Danny, we got to take a quick commercial break, and then we're going to be right back. We're talking about you and your legal rights with legal expert and attorney at law, Danny Daniel, right after this quick commercial break.
Welcome back to Geico Radio. It's savings on the radio.
Caller Steve, go right ahead.
Yeah, I just got a free rate quote on Geico.com. Saved a ton, and it only took me 5 minutes and 12 seconds. I was wondering, is that some sort of record?
That's a good question. Let's have a look.
Not quite. Someone's got you beat by 8 seconds.
Still, I mean, that's quite fast.
Well, what if I told you I only use one hand?
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
Tune in Monday through Friday here on Money for Lunch. And check out our website at moneyforlunch.com.
You know what's interesting is
Hey,
that, yeah.
Hey, we're back on the air, right?
Yep, we're back on the air.
I had to make a comment because the only people that advertise more than lawyers on TV are insurance companies, right? Or on the radio. I'm still on hold, and there's a Geico commercial right there. That is hilarious. Okay, I'm sorry. You got to go ahead.
Oh, that's funny. That's funny. Well, you know what I was going to say to anybody listening, and this is to the story that you just discussed about, or the comment you made about some people who try to do it on their own. And guys, there's nothing wrong with trying to do it on your own if you really know what you're doing. But you know, hopefully you're only going to be in an accident once, maybe twice a year, and that's not enough to give you expertise. And so.
Not a year.
Yeah, right. Yeah, and, you're right. I said, yeah, so once, in a lifetime. So, you know, you didn't know this, but I went to law school, and so the reason I went to law school, this was later in life, I wanted to know what my rights were, and so I went to law school, and I think everybody should at least complete the first year of law school, and they would really change the way they behave. I think they would really probably get attorneys involved more often because it is complicated. So if everybody will check this out, this to me is a very interesting story. So I was in court fighting a traffic ticket, and the gentleman before me, the judge was talking to him, and the judge was looking at his charges and basically saying, okay, you know, you were charged with, or he was cited for, what do you call it, a expired registration and an expired inspection sticker, and asked the gentleman, how do you plead? And the gentleman said, well, Your Honor, I got those fixed, and so here are my receipts. And the judge says, well, okay, I'll enter a plea of guilty. And then he started talking legalese. He basically says, you know, I'll take a plea of guilty, I'll suspend it, blah, blah, blah. He mentioned a bunch of other legal terms that went over the gentleman's head. And so because the gentleman did not understand, all he heard was, I'm entering what we call it, a plea of guilty. That's all he heard. He started ranting at the judge. He actually started using profanity at the judge, even though the judge said, I'm going to suspend everything, and he was about to kick the guy out and kick the case out, which they typically do. But because the guy did not understand what he was saying, the judge was saying, he didn't understand what was going on, he ranted, he cussed at the judge, it caused him to get locked up. And I'm telling you, but you know what, but that goes to your example. You know, something so simple can get very complicated if you don't know the terminology. So this poor guy didn't understand what was going on and caused himself some serious, what do you call it, harm, not harm, but some serious delay, some serious, what do you call it, anyway, blew up in his face. Bottom line is, you know, sometimes you can do it yourself. Sometimes you can screw yourself up because you don't know what they're doing, what you're doing. And these big companies hire literally a team of people to protect them.
There's no doubt they do. Go ahead.
Yeah, and I was going to say, yeah, unfortunately, Danny Daniel, we're out of time. I appreciate you stopping by. Great information. Hope to have you back so we can talk some more. And again, have a great weekend.
Yeah, you do that as well, Bert. I enjoyed talking to you.
Tune in Monday through Friday here on Money for Lunch. and check out our website at moneyforlunch.com.